Welcome to our TAE Aerospace Ipswich Jets After the 60, the sister show to After the 80, shining a spotlight on netball. Every fortnight we'll go beyond the court to bring you player stories, coach insights and everything in between in the world of Jets netball. We'd like to thank Hoyts Cinemas North Ipswich, who are hosting us during the series, who are in the centre of town, just recently opened, so everything's shiny and new, and the platinum sponsor of your Jets. Joining us for episode 2 is Steph O'Brien, one of the foundation players of the Ipswich Jets Sapphire Series teams, going back all the way to 2019. Someone, Paula Stewart, who's the assistant coach of the Firebirds, once commented that she leads by example out on court. She is a hard worker and leaves no stone unturned. So what better way to introduce someone, Steph O'Brien, Jet number 1. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here.
So let's maybe start with that. As we said, you're Jet number 1. Now, probably in the whole time of doing this, I'll probably never speak to another Jet number 1 again. And that's obviously goes back to when we entered the Sapphire Series 2019. So looking back, I mean, what does it mean to you to have been there from the very beginning and to still be representing the club today?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to start out something fresh and exciting. It was just really good to have a club that really wanted to take on something at a more professional level. I think we're really lucky to have a club such as Jets be interested in netball, and it's come a long way. And yeah, it's pretty amazing to see what we've built over the last few years.
I guess that legacy of being Jet number 1, I mean, it's, you know, it should never be lost in how, you know, important that is, you know, going into years and years and years into the future. We'll always refer back to where this all started, which was for us anyway, 2019, and for you to be that first Jet. I mean, even having that Jet number 1, is that like a really, you know, important thing for you?
Yeah, like it's pretty exciting. I think the fact that I'll always get to say that I'm Jet number 1, yeah, is quite humbling. So yeah, I'm sure when I'm older, I will look back and yeah, get a kick out of it.
Now, you've been balancing life as a full-time teacher in Ipswich whilst playing at an elite level, and you've been that for years. So how do you manage those dual roles, and how does teaching influence your leadership on court?
Yeah, it's obviously quite hard to be here, there and everywhere, and teaching's quite a demanding job, but luckily teaching can be sort of flexible. It's great hours with training netball at night time or in the morning before schools. It's quite a good lifestyle to be able to fit it all in. If I was working kind of until 5 o'clock, it might be a bit hard. So luckily my school is pretty aware of the stuff I do outside of school. So and they're really proud of the achievements and everything that I'm doing. So pretty lucky to have that support from a work point of view. And then obviously everyone's aware there's lots of teachers in our group of players, so we know what times of year it's going to be pretty hectic, yeah, marking, things like that. So everyone's quite all over the workload, which is good.
But I guess even being a teacher, I mean, one of the girls we just interviewed for After the 80 is also a teacher, and saying that, again, when they get to 3 o'clock, that's when kids' days are finished, but that's when your day almost starts. So even then, I know you have good flexible hours, but it's still hard work going through into those post-school hours and holidays as well.
Yeah, it is, and I like to get to work really early, just so I can get all of that stuff done. But yeah, I think when you have to organise your life like that and really plan it out, it really helps. That organisational skills, something you learn across when you play sport. You just need to be organised. So I live over an hour away, so I'm not going home until like 9 o'clock at night. So I just need to make sure I'm planned, and yeah, it's helped through all aspects of life.
So you've been part of the elite system for, I guess, more than a decade, including time as a Suncorp Super Netball training partner and also with Queensland Fusion. How has your perspective on the game evolved with all of those experiences at a real high performance level?
Yeah, I think like there's a pretty exciting time being a training partner and being able to be within that elite environment. I got some awesome experiences going to New Zealand and being able to play against the Diamonds for training, match play and things like that. So that's really exciting, and the game has come so far, and it's changed a lot even since I was in that system, and seeing how our girls are training with Firebirds and in that it used to be ANL back in the day, and now it's reserves grade, and the fact that they have a proper reserves grade is really exciting for those younger ones coming through.
So I guess from that, is there more opportunities now than there was back when you were coming through?
Yeah, I don't know if there's more opportunities, but I think it's held at a bit of a more elite level. I think the fact that they're actual reserve grade teams for all of the SSN clubs, it just makes it a bit more of a professional environment, and they have that support from the SSN clubs as well. They train with them, and I think it's just a bit more professional.
Now, part of the fun of doing these things is I get to obviously do a bit of research into the people I'm talking to. And I've known you for 7 years now, but I found out through my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you spent time playing and living in Northern Territory.
Yeah, I did a bit of like fly in, fly out stuff in Northern Territory for both netball and footy actually. But I did do some ANL stuff when I was with Lightning, and we played for the Northern Territory because the Lightning didn't have a reserves team as such. So there was probably 4 or 5 girls from the Lightning aspect that played for the Northern Territory. It's a good experience to be able to represent the Northern Territory, although not from there. It's a place that I sort of think of as a bit of a second home, and now that I've got to experience some footy up there as well, I really like Darwin and got some good friends from there as well.
So I guess it would have been really hot and humid. I mean, from an athletic perspective, is it a very different type of style of gameplay up there compared to South East Queensland?
Yeah, I just think a lot of girls in the Northern Territory don't get a lot of exposure to high performance netball, so it was really nice to be able to bring that high performance to the Northern Territory, and we actually did really well as a team, and we were in finals, so I think we're a bit of underdogs, and I think the NT's sort of known for that, and we worked really hard, and playing outside in the NT is very hot and humid, a different style, but luckily netball's played inside in an air-conditioned stadium, so we're a bit sheltered, but footy is a different story. It's very hot.
And not to be too cliche, but did you see a crocodile?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
You didn't go swimming?
Not walking the streets, okay. But I went and watched a crocodile jumping show, yes.
Excellent. We've started this year off, obviously, a couple of weeks back now, and I guess we've already had our challenges this year, and had to pull together quickly with a lot of our girls playing in other areas of the competition. So how has moments like that really tested and brought the resilience of the group together in your eyes?
Yeah, I think although it's so amazing to have such a talented team, which means we unfortunately missed them a little bit at the start of the season this year, the resilience of the girls that have been training since the start of pre-season is amazing. We've been battling through conditioning sessions, and sometimes when there's only 5 players at training, it can get pretty mundane, and we just need to keep everything fun and exciting. So I think the girls that have worked hard through that pre-season without a full team, credit to all of them for being able to just keep the love for netball when we're working hard, and when luckily we get those girls back. So it's going to be really exciting when we finally hit our stride with our full team.
And that's probably a nice segue, to the fact of when we have been able to have those girls, a lot of those girls represented the team in 2024. when we were, through, some great wins through the year, able to be Sapphire Premiers 2024. You've played the game for a lot of years. You've put a lot of hard work in and had some near misses along the way. So what did that mean to you personally to get through to that day? I think it was in August last year, and to finally get that win on show court in this arena.
Yeah, I think had an amazing team for a few years, and to finally get there, I've been part of this competition for like 17 years now, so to be able to finish and know that we're at the top, it was I don't think I really set in until after, but there was lots of tears, but just knowing that it's really hard to come by winning, and to come so close so many times, can be very heartbreaking, but it's even better once you win one.
Now, over those 17 years, I guess you've shared the court with many young and emerging players. Who are you most proud of, seeing come through the system and grow, I guess, both as athletes and as people? Like who particularly stood out for you in that time?
I think probably Charlie Bell. She's over in New Zealand playing at the moment in their league, and I think to come from very tall, gangly teenager to being one of the players that I believe that should be in the SSN, and she's worked really hard, and she's over there killing it right now and shoot super shots that the talls don't usually shoot. So I think she's really stood up, and I think people doubted her through her experience, and to see that she's getting a crack over there is really exciting.
I think at last count she was 197, so unless she's grown since then,
no,
but she's
very
stayed at 197. Now, through your teaching, I guess, and also through playing, and also through coaching, you've coached, a lot of the girls that now are coming through the pathways and making their mark at high level. So, what does that mean to you to see those girls that have come up through you now making their mark, and how proud does that make you feel? Yeah,
super proud. I mean, Charlie Bell was I coached the state age team when she was 14 or 15, so that's pretty exciting for me to see that. And then to be a teammate of hers is, although very weird that I've coached some people and now I played with them and now they're going on to greatness, is amazing. But even the likes of Ruby Stanford coming through our Ruby team at the moment, coaching her at schoolgirls for the last couple of years, it's just exciting to see where she's going with the Australian squad and things like that. And I have no doubt that, she'll be playing at the top level.
And I know, and again, because I've known you for so long, you put everything in to every game, and you feel every win, you feel every loss. But genuinely, you're a very humble person. But to have some influence on these people's careers to get them to that level, you must again be proud in yourself, in what you've been able to impart, as far as some of that experience and some of that knowledge. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure that there are successes. Not really. I mean, a lot of people like to claim players, but I'll claim that I built relationships with those girls and hopefully in some way, help them to improve. I think as a coach, you want to make sure that girls are still enjoying netball as well as improving. So I think if they are still enjoying it at that age, we see a lot of dropout of teenagers after that sort of 16-year age group. So if girls can keep enjoying it and keep wanting to learn, as a coach, that's the big thing for me.
So you're still humble in the answer. I want to tell you not to be humble. You're still humble in the answer of being humble. But anyway, obviously we know you, but for some people that are watching on maybe don't know that you also compete at a high level in AFLW. You've completed premierships with Southpaw. How has that success in another elite sport influence your mindset and game day approach, and how do you again balance the demands of netball with AFLW?
Yeah, I guess the demands of being a very similar season makes it hard on the body, and just fatigue levels and things like that. Just making sure that I'm across all of the trainings and communicating with people and making sure that we know what my load is at the time. If I'm feeling not great, I need to make sure that I'm communicating that to coaches and S&C and things like that, seeing physios, all of that. But I just, since like starting footy, this is my 5th year, the crossover between the two sports, there is a huge crossover, so I feel like I can put some of those netball skills into footy and vice versa, and I think being able to be in an elite environment for netball, I've sort of been able to transfer that to footy and help other girls to sort of have those high performance behaviours a little bit. I think with the AFLW being so behind netball, they've only really just started. They're in their infancy kind of. So just being able to bring that professionalism to the club. I think that's something
And I mean, when you talk about the crossover between the two, I mean, what's the biggest thing that you've been able to bring over from one coach to the other?
I just think awareness on the court or the field. I think once you can read a game of either netball or footy, you can kind of read both. The forward leading patterns in AFL are very similar to leading patterns on a netball court. I like to think of it as a big game of netball. And I probably should kick more than I do, but I've just handball it. Yeah. So I haven't kicked a netball yet, so that's good, and I haven't handballed it too many times. So I think it's just amazing. I think it's sort of brought more life into my netball career as well. I think being able to learn a completely new skill has made me enjoy both a lot. So yeah.
And you mentioned then AFLW is in its infancy, but even you mentioned it a little bit earlier, about women's sport and in netball and how that's come a long way since you first started out. So I mean, focusing on that, what shifts have you seen in netball's visibility, its professionalism, and I guess the respect that female athletes get now?
Yeah, I think there's actually a pathway for girls, and I think now that even netball, just having 2 Queensland teams is huge for us, and it gives a pathway for these young Queensland girls to be able to play at the top level. And I think majority of the players from, for instance, Lightning and Firebirds are actually starting to come from Queensland. So that's really exciting.
Now you've been a leader in many forms, on court, in the classroom, and across multiple teams. How has your leadership style evolved and changed over time?
Yeah, I think as I get more confident in leading, I've definitely been a player and a captain that leads by example, and I don't think you need to always just talk. I think sometimes actions speak louder than words. So I'm a bit more actions, less talk, but over the years I've started to be more confident in speaking up, and I think a huge thing about leadership is building those relationships and knowing the players that you're playing with, and making sure that you're checking in with people, and just knowing what makes them tick. Just makes it easier on game day when we're in a situation where we need to step up.
And through that journey, is there any particular coaches, mentors, teammates that have had a real impact on your journey through the time?
I think having Helida as a teammate, and she's a great leader as well, was huge. I think we worked really well. I think I had to step into the captain role when she was off with the World Cup, so that's obviously, she influenced me through that season. A coach that has influenced my leadership, I think Paula is a really good example. We created a really good relationship over those couple of years, and we didn't really know each other that well. I was coached by her in under 21s, but yeah, we're just able to get that really open communication lines, and I think that's taught me to have those open communication lines with players as well.
Now, during these chats, we also, I guess, as much like to educate for people that are looking on and seeing you as an established athlete, somebody that's been around and working your body, a lot. Is there anything that you can give with regards to personal tips on routines or habits that have helped you stay consistent, grounded, and generally, looking after your body?
Yeah, I think the organisational skills help with that. So just knowing what you've got on, being prepared for all of those things the night before. I think sleep's super important. And just making sure that you are checking in with physios, doing all of the gym that you're meant to do. I think people like to think that sometimes we just need to run and be super fit, but I think if you're not working in the gym and getting that injury prevention stuff in the gym, then yeah, there's no point doing all of the running if you're not going to be healthy and fit and strong. Yeah, you've got to work your muscles to be able to stay on court. So yeah,
is that where perhaps the cross-code thing particularly helps, that you're working two similar-ish, but also two differences in respect of what you need to perform the best at both?
Yeah, I think obviously there is those little things that you need for different sports. Obviously the conditioning for AFL is very different to conditioning for netball, but I think I play in the midfield in AFL as well, so it's similar, shorter movements, more powerful stuff, so I think that obviously crosses over really well. And yeah, gym-wise, very similar movements, jumping, landing, change of direction, but yeah, just really working hard on that has helped me to stay on court.
Now, there will be a time, let's call it 20 years from now, when you finally have to stop playing netball. And when that time comes, and hopefully it will be a long time coming, but when it does come, how do you want the netball community, your students, your teammates, your coaching staff to remember Steph O'Brien?
Oh, it's a hard one. I guess I just want to be known as a nice person that's generous enough with time and make time for people. I think if people ask for help, I'm happy to give feedback and help them. Obviously, I teach a lot of netball at school, and yeah, I just hope that people remember me as a nice person, firstly, and just someone that gave back to netball. I think netball's given me a lot, so yeah.
And I think when we open this with Paula's words, and I think it probably resonates through that answer too, is that you're somebody that leads from the front, that leads everything on court, and there's certainly no doubt that you give everything you've got. Couple last questions. Steph O'Brien Cup is something new to the Netball Carnival this year, and something that we hope will stay ongoing. I guess for those people that are new to that, tell us what it's about and what it means to you personally to have a community event named in your honour.
Yeah, so it's a club carnival held at Ipswich. You can enter teams, they're all under 18s teams, and there's junior boys and senior boys as well. You can just register via the link on the Jets Instagram page. And then, yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I was sprung at training that this event was being named after me, and I almost had a few little tears brewing, but yeah, it's pretty amazing to have a carnival or a cup mate named after you. Yeah, I was kind of lost for words when I found out, so to be able to have young girls and boys playing for a cup named after me is pretty wild. But yeah, hopefully I think some of my students at school and yeah, girls that I've coached previously, hopefully we put teams in. So yeah, I might be presenting my cup to one of those players. So it's
I mean, that's it's a pretty impressive bucket list that you get ticked off in netball as we've gone through the last half an hour. Is there anything left on that bucket list that you want to do before you step away in 20 years' time?
Oh, I mean, going back to back would be nice.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the treble.
Yeah,
and the quadruple,
yeah, and then,
it never
just
stops.
keep going. Yeah, yeah, not really. I think like I've been really, really lucky enough to achieve a lot of things. Obviously, I would have loved to play at the top level, but as the age clock is ticking, that's kind of out of the realms. But yeah, I just want to keep playing at a high level as long as I can, and being able to be out there with teammates and just have fun.
One last question. One of the big things that we focus on heavily at the club, first in football, now in through netball, is the privilege of wearing the green and white of Ipswich, and it's a big part of your identity now. So, what does that mean to you, having spent so many seasons with the club, so many years playing netball, having having the jet numbers is one thing, having jet number one is, as we said, such an amazing thing. But what does it mean to you to be wearing the green and white of the Jets colours every week in, week out?
Yeah, super proud to be wearing the green and white, and I think you see the community around it and how involved and excited people get around netball and football, and I'm pretty lucky that I'm in this area, I work in this area, and I see the kids that hopefully will then be in this position one day. And they do get excited. You wear your Jets stuff to school and they're like, oh, do you play for Jets? And they get really excited. So
do you say, how dare you, what you should know?
I was like, don't you know who I am? No. So it's pretty exciting to see what a club like this, the impact it has on the community. So I'm really lucky to be involved in the community as well.
Okay, well look, Steph, really appreciate your time, your honesty, your story and the insights, and we wish you and the team all the best for the rest of the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So that's the wrap up of this episode of the TAE Aerospace Ipswich Jets After the 60, proudly brought to you with thanks to Hoyts Cinema North Ipswich. Big thanks to Steph, and come to the show call at Nissan Arena at 4 p.m. on Saturdays 28th of June to support the girls for their round 4 game as they take on the Moreton Bay City Pulse. And it's followed also by our Ruby girls playing the same club at 6 p.m. on Court 6 in the same venue. So stay tuned, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time as we bring you all things Ipswich Jets.